Welcome back, boys and some girls. Whiskerwood can actually be somewhat complicated and confusing at times, so I just wanted to share what I found difficult, or kind of, I don't know, it wasn't easy to understand how to do those things, so I just wanted to share those same points with you, because maybe it would help you. There is no order to the points, it's just whatever came to my mind first. So let's start this actual tip with, I think, maybe the most important tip I can actually give you in this game. And this is just have one storage, at least one storage for every single item, and try to make sure they're closest to the machines or to production lines as you can. I'll explain why very quickly. When you start out, I at least didn't think that I would have a problem with storing food and storing anything, but apparently other things like stone, wood, planks can kind of crowd your storage. And it makes it so if, for example, one building needs to take out a food they made, or they need to take out a shirt they made, they won't be able to if there is no storage. And people won't take it from the output of the building. So what would happen is simply people starving and people not having clothes, because you didn't have a specific storage for that thing. So just do that. Another tip is about actually raising the expectations of your rats. When you try to educate a mouse, when you try to make them a apprentice or a craft master, if you look, the stars under the name actually increase, which means they expect more food, they expect better food, they expect better showers, they expect better housing, they expect better clothes. So you have to meet all those requirements. If you don't do that, because you will be in an endless loop of just going down and down and down in negative points, and you will kind of get stuck. There is no limit on pipes, so you can just build as much as you want. You can make a central pipeline and connect all of your buildings to it. There's no need to make multiple main lines. Just one pipe can actually do for all of your kingdom from one side of the map to the other. There's no limit on it. Just to make your life easier, miners can actually mine one tile up, and then from there one to the right and one to the left, so you don't need to build too much scaffolding. When you press Z to enter the layered mode, it will actually choose the layer that your mouse is currently touching. And when you try to do this for the sea, it's going to be at sea level no matter what. Even if you try to press something where there is like the bottom of the ocean, like very deep, it doesn't matter, it's still going to be at sea level. If you don't want to do too much math, what you can actually do is look at the end of each day at what you produced, what you created, what did you consume today, and try to do this from there. So you want the numbers to at least be matching, or at least you making more than what you're using. So you can add more buildings or take building down, just whatever you need to make these numbers even. Actual best way to make money for taxes is going to be the smuggler. Just make sure you overproduce everything, and you can sell so many things to the smuggler, and then you can take the gold that he gives you and pay taxes with it. Super easy. Some buildings have multiple recipes, so make sure whenever you build a building, you actually are using the correct recipe. It can lead to you not realizing why you have so many buildings but none of them do anything. Train rails are very useful, but only if you need to carry 6 guys maximum from point A to point B. Otherwise, you can just add another cart and you cannot have a second station. They simply won't use it. There is a tiny but here. At certain distances, it might actually still be better to just do like 2 or 3 runs of 6 people at a time, rather than have them walk to that direction. It depends on you. You need to figure out which one is faster, how much does each trip on the car takes, and how much is it taking just to walk there by foot. So it depends on you. During winters, fields actually need to be heated to keep the same production speed you had during the rest of the year. It's kind of the same for every building. You can look at the top right of every building to see that. But for farms, it's especially important because wood is kind of your lifeline in everything. Once you unlock conveyor belts, you can actually save the walking distance a rat has to do to a warehouse, meaning you can actually get more efficiency and more production per day without really sacrificing or building anything too much. Just a couple of lines that go into a warehouse, simple and easy. Heat actually travels much better in caves, so you need less fires and less radiators for the same amount of space that is going to be heated up, and even you will see it's like magnitudes higher. The problem is it's the same for pollution, so you might want to create like chimneys that go above ground to let all of the smoke go. It will also let some of the heat go, but not the same amount. Whenever you unlock elevators, it's going to save you so much time, and you can actually build way more vertical now. But later on you also unlock the steam engine, which is going to make your elevator even faster, so you can rebuild higher and it will still be efficient. Removing rocks from farms actually increases your crops yield, but it takes a very long time to remove all of the stones. Buildings with entrances that are not on the ground floor but actually on a higher floor, floor 2, floor 3, can just be buried inside the ground to make them at the ground level, so you don't need to build staircases and elevators to nowhere. If you still want to do math for your numbers and everything for efficiency, I actually recommend you convert things to decimal points, so it will be decimal points. Just go for per second, like how much items do you need per second from a machine, how much do you get from a machine per second. It will actually make your life a little bit easier to do that. It will be 0.0 stuff, like numbers like that, and then you need 4 machine, like 3.8, stuff like that. But it's way easier than actually trying to do the rest of the numbers. It will save you a lot of time if you actually want to do the math. And finally, the most important one, well, not really the most important one, but a pretty important one, is to actually have a very stable economy before you want to research the next tier of buildings. I think it will save you the most amount of time and the most amount of having to remake things or re-recruit people because people died or something like that. It's just gonna make your life 10 times easier if you just take your time, make sure you're stable, and then move on. And with that being said, these are all the points I wanted to mention today. If I have more, then maybe in the future, whenever 1.0 comes out or maybe an interesting update comes out, I might actually do a second one, depends. But currently I don't really have too many more that I'm thinking about. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, thank you. If you didn't, let me know how I can improve. It's keep it safe and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.